Well, welcome back YouTube. It is time for another video. The last video I released was on February the 2nd, and it is now April 27th. It has been 12 weeks to the day since I released my last video. This is actually, to the day, the 2-year anniversary of when I pulled this bus behind me into my driveway and have been working on it every single day since that day. So the whole point to this video is to do a 2-year anniversary walk around, as though no one has ever seen any of my videos previously, so that they can have basically a tour video that covers everything in one video. I intend to show you what it looked like here the day that I brought it in, what it looked like here 1 month later when I was stripping it out, a month later when I was finished with all the inside prep and ready to start building, and then finally show you what it looks like today. So with that said, let's start a tour video and see what 2 years worth of work and 12 weeks worth of progress has done for me on this bus. This is Marv talking to you about Marv. So let's get after it. Alright everybody, we are in the inside of the bus, and this is where the magic happens. Right now I'm standing in the back of the bus in what is going to be my bedroom office area. You can see my mini split behind me, and then over my shoulder I have my security camera for the inside of the bus as well that looks forward down the hallway. The first thing that I want to do is run through the bathroom area, show you the shower, show you the vanity room, and then we'll move forward from there and cover everything that I've got done in here. So with that, let's take a walk and move forward. So the first thing is my shower. As you can see, I've got my ceiling in. It's that copper polystyrene panel that runs up the ceiling, comes down over the ceramic tile. The ceramic tile actually comes up much higher than that. Siliconed along the bottom to seal it to the tile so that I don't get any water intrusion. I've got some glass tile accents there. I've got glass tile border accents across there. I've got my shower head. As you can see, I've got a rain shower head. I've got a handheld shower head. And there is my main control. I've got a shelf there, and I've got a shelf there. What I love about this thing is that you can set the temperature of the water, and then the top knob allows you to change between the handheld, the overhead, or off. So I don't need one of those push button RV things. I can be in here taking a shower and go from rain to off after I'm wet, soap up, all of that kind of stuff, and then go back to rain or go to handheld and provide a more focused rinse off. So I love that thing. I don't have to have one of those cheap plastic RV handheld shower heads with a push button. I just control the water flow with the top valve, set the temperature with the bottom valve, and I'm good to go. So this is my shower. This is all large format ceramic tile, or porcelain tile actually, to be completely clear. It was a serious pain in the ass to get that all in. I used black grout, which created a lot of problems for getting it clean, because all of this tile is porous, and it took me forever to get that clean. Just so you're aware, this is April 27th. I installed all of this tile in my video on Christmas Day. That is when I installed it. So the tile was installed on Christmas Day, and then ever since then I've been working on the updates. One of the other things I want to show you, I'm going to walk in. And this is the shower door on the inside. But however, if I close this, I've got this mural on the inside. It is covered in a clear acrylic panel. And that clear acrylic panel is siliconed in so that no water gets to it. I've added these water deflectors, whatever you want to call them, up and down the back side of the shower door. They actually ride across the acrylic panel and prevent water from getting to the outside of the shower door here. Everything is sealed. And I did this to add a little bit of character and something different to the inside. It wasn't quite tall enough to go all the way to the top, so I added these glass panels across the top to give me the finished look that I have up here. So that's what the inside of the shower looks like. You can see it's not conducive to standing up in here. So I am going to be adding a bench that I can sit on and take a shower because it's not going to work. This light is remote controlled, it is rechargeable, it is waterproof, and I have it in the shower because I did not want to run live electrical wires inside of a room that's full of water all the time. So I use these. I've got two of them. So if this one dies, I just plug in the, bring in the other one, put it in there, keep them charged. I always have light in the shower. And as you can see, it does provide plenty of light, at least for a shower. So this is the inside of the shower. We'll walk outside and I'll show you some other stuff that I got going on out here. Here is the remote, and I do want to point out that if I do that, you can see that the light goes off inside the shower and it is no longer lit. So I added this rug right here in front of the shower. It's just more or less a foot mat for when you come out of the shower. It absorbs the water. I added the black material that you see right there. This is actually boat deck material. It's waterproof. And so I added that to provide a waterproof flooring in front of the shower. I added all of my trim as well, my quarter round along the bottom, and I siliconed all that in. The other thing that you will see is that I actually have a mural on the outside that matches the inside as well. I've got this little light. I don't have it on right now, but I've got this little light that when I turn it on, it actually highlights the frontal view of the mural and focuses light on that. With regard to the shower door, one of the things that I do want to point out is this, and this. Those are all actually repurposed window panes from the windows of this bus. There were two sizes of windows, short windows or small windows and large windows. These are from the small windows. They are much thinner glass than these at the bottom. These are the larger windows. But what I did was I put window tinting on the outside. So this film is a window tint, which is why when you see the light on, you can see that it's fairly dark in there. And that's because this window tint is on the outside of that glass. I do need to do a lot of cleanup and stuff. You can see right up here. I don't know if you can or not, but there is a tape line that you can see. I need to get all that stuff cleaned up. I haven't done my spring cleaning pre-flight yet, but I'll get all that taken care of. But anyway, this is the outside of the shower. One of the other things, I've talked about this in my previous video, but if you haven't seen that, you wouldn't know it. But when I originally built this, my original design on this was that I was going to have glass shower doors. And I went across this, and I bought a shower door system for that. Well, when I got home and built my shower and started trying to figure out how to get it in, I realized that I screwed up. Because the one thing that I did not account for was the height of the shower pan. So at that point, it was unusable and way too tall. The doors themselves would not fit in the opening, so I could not use it. They were all tempered glass, so I couldn't cut them down. So I had to spend numerous months trying to figure out a way to figure that out, and I did. I built my own door, and it slides back, slides forward. Yes, it is a narrow opening, but guys, this is a school bus, not a $500,000 mansion. My original intent was to have this panel right here also be a sliding door, but there was just not enough room to make that happen. But what I did do is I did try to utilize as much of that original purchase on that sliding door as I could. This is the top track. These are the side tracks. And if you look down there, you can see that I used the bottom track. I used the handles on both the inside, outside, and I used the handles on the inside. So I used as much of that as I possibly could to make this a viable, workable shower solution, and it worked out really well. I'm really proud of it. The rollers for the door are from the original shower door setup, but the actual mechanism that they use to make them roll and slide is very different. So that's the shower. It is all installed, ready to go. By the way, I do want to point out there are two things that I will probably never do again. I will never use black grout on porous tile, and I will never use black silicone on porous tile. Oh my God, cleaning that up was a nightmare. Took me forever. But I got her done, got her finished. As you can see, black silicone on the bottom, black silicone up the corners. I got black grout in between all the tiles. It looks gray, but it is supposed to be black. But yeah, just want to share that. So that's the shower. Let me turn off the light. And now we're going to move over to the vanity room. And I've done a video on the door to my vanity room, but I have actually added a few personal touches to it. I put this decal on the top that identifies this as a bathroom. I added this funny little circle thing that identifies this as a bathroom. I have a little bit of a funny sign here that identifies this as a bathroom, and then I also have at the bottom here, if you can see, I've got this sign that identifies whether it's occupied or vacant. So just me personalizing, having some fun with the spaces that I have. Not necessary, but it was nice. So with that said, the first thing I have to do is I have to remove this rug, because it will not my door won't open with it in the way, because all of my clearances are very tight. So if I open my vanity door and we go into the vanity, turn on the lights, I've got this one wall light right here that lights up on a separate switch, and then I've got the overhead light that lights up on a separate switch. And I do want to point out that I can actually change the color of this light through a wide variety. I think it's 3 different colors. And the other thing that I can do is actually brighten and dim it independently. So all I got to do is get power to it, and then I can control whatever I want from here. So this is my vanity room. DIY composting toilet. Open this up. You can see in there that I've got the backside, which goes into a 5-gallon Harbor Freight bucket. And then I've got the urine separator up front. I've got the actual lid the toilet seat itself screwed down. The only way to use this thing is to sit your ass down, because for those gentlemen out there that think they want to stand up and pee in the urine diverter, it's not going to happen. Got to sit down, because otherwise it splatters all over all the wood and everything else, and I just don't want that. So toilet seat is actually screwed down. There is my vanity sink. It has hot and cold running water. That's cold. That's hot. A few little decorations that I'm going to figure out. I've also got a little medicine cabinet up here. I've got latches on everything to keep them from opening up. A little decoration that I added in here. I'm going to do more in here. I got a hand towel rack, toilet paper holder. If you look down there, I've got an output from my diesel heater in the back down there. That this door has to be open, otherwise it just blows into the door. And then I've got another one. If you look back here, I've got a diesel heater output up here, and that's to provide heat into the vanity room area. The other thing I want to point out is that this contraption that you see right here is actually, you take this right here and you can open up the lid. Oh, I've got it locked up, but you open up the lid and you can connect this to this and then be able to do maintenance in the toilet area. So take that, hook it to that, lid stays open, and you can do whatever you want in there. Then underneath I've got some storage as well. Open these up and you can see this is where I'm going to store all of the materials that I need to support the composting toilet, because I don't have room inside. What I will do is use the inside of the composting toilet for excess and put the usable stuff here. You can see I also have a leak detector there underneath where the water comes out, so if I ever have a leak, if it gets on here and hits that, I will know about it. So this is the vanity room. Got this done. In all fairness, this was actually the first room that I finished in the bus. This was done in October of, what year is this? 2020, October of 2025. If you notice these screws right here, I have this set up so that I can remove this and have access to all of the wiring, AC lines, everything else that runs behind here if I need to do any work or maintenance. This entire bathroom, just so you're aware, everything is screwed in. You can see right there. I can just disassemble this entire bathroom. It is a puzzle, but I can take everything out of here, including the toilet, the sink, everything. I can remove everything, do whatever I want to in here, and then put it all back in. So that is the vanity room. Let's move on. All right, the next thing that I want to talk about is my hallway and my equipment cabinets and what I've done here. One of my crowning achievements that makes me the most happiest about this is that if you go back through numerous videos, I kept talking about how I needed to clean up and sort out the wiring and get the doors on and all of that for my equipment cabinets. Well, I finally did it. I did it for a reason. There was a specific purpose to it. But, excuse me, it forced me to get it done. So, in previous videos, if you look right here, you'll see that I have this panel right here, and I've got my LEDs. Green means I have no faults. Red means I do. And I've got my Servo GX mounted there as well. And it identifies where I'm at with regard to my power system on the 24. This is the 24 volt side, just so you're aware. So I've got that set up. I finally got it all cleaned up. I finally got everything set up. What I want to do is I want to come back here and open the door and show you what that looks like from the back side. So I created this wiring harness, and this wiring harness feeds the servo, and this feeds all of those LEDs that you see on the other side. So it was a little bit of a challenge. I got everything cleaned up. There's my electrical panel for the 24 volt side. The main thing that is powered off of that is I have my inverter input, my mini split, and then a few other. This breaker right here is a split phase breaker that goes to an external power receptacle on the back of the bus. And then I've got a few other circuit breakers. Most of them are not used, but I run my microwave, my reverse osmosis UV light, and my leak detection system off the AC side. Primary purpose of the AC distribution on the 24 volt system is the mini splits. Beyond that, everything else is minimal, and I don't have a whole lot tied to it. The whole point to it was the mini splits. I've got some switches right here. I've got internal lights. As you can see, when I flip the switch here, the lights come on and off. This actually, when I flip that middle switch, it disconnects the ground from my green lights so that I can actually turn them off if I don't want to see that green glow at night. I typically leave it on, and then this is a fan override that allows me to turn the fans on to provide cooling if I need to, and they're noisy, but it provides cooling if I need to before the actual thermostats kick in. So getting this door in was a huge asset, and there's a lot more to getting this door in that you'll see in a second, but I just wanted to share that with you. Coming over here to this side, you'll see the exact same thing. I've got my servo from a 12 volt side. Batteries were charging, so it's like giving me some alarm because my voltage was sitting up pretty high. As you can see, I'm sitting at 99%. I've got an issue with my Victron Smart Shunt because it's saying that I'm at 82%, and that's not true, because if I go to my Redodo systems and look at those, they're saying I'm at 90%, and the voltage actually represents that. So I got to figure that out. But again, on this side, I've got my green lights that tell me I have no alarms, red lights that tell me I do. One of the things on both sides, so these panels, these are clear acrylic panels that I've installed. The wood is actually grooved, and they sit inside the grooves of the wood, but they are painted gold from the back side. I put multiple coats of gold paint on them to give them that texture and that look, so that's why they look that way. If I open up this, you can see this is the inside of my 12 volt equipment distribution panel, and this is the heart of the bus. This runs pretty much everything other than my mini splits. It's single phase. My inverter runs everything. I've got regulators from Max Air Fans because I've seen and read and heard that the output voltage when you're charging the lithium-ion batteries tends to blow up the circuit boards on the Max Air Fans. So I put these regulators in to control that. One of the other things that I did that was a huge accomplishment on my part that I really enjoyed was, if you paid attention to any of my previous videos, you can remember that the noise from the fans kicking on in my equipment cabinets was deafening, and it was even hard to talk. So I had to redo that. I had to revamp that. It was just unbearable. It was great when I was building and working, but from a perspective of living in this bus, it was unsustainable. So one of the things that I did was I changed out all of my fans, and right now all of my fans are on inside my equipment cabinet, and we are talking, and you probably can hear the wind blowing, but it does not compare to the noise that came out of here previously. I did the same thing on the 24 volt side. The other thing that I did was I did some testing, figuring out and changed the settings on the thermostats so that it raises to a certain temperature. It kicks the fans on, and then it kicks them off a couple of degrees cooler. So typically the inside temperature of my equipment cabinet is, when the fans are engaged, it has to get to 84, and then they kick off when it gets to 80, and that prevents them from running all day and all night. Because in the previous settings that I had, the challenge that I had was that the inside temperature of the bus was not cool enough to get the inside temperature of the equipment cabinets to a point where it was low enough to kick the fans off. So I adjusted that so when it's hot, the temperature inside my equipment cabinets is in the lower 80s, which is well within the range of the operating temperature of the equipment. Not the most effective, not the most efficient, but I'm not going to put my mini splits on 60 degrees to keep the inside of my equipment cabinet in the 70 degree range where the equipment is rated at. So works out well. It is so much quieter. This makes me really happy. I figured that out. I'm using actually CPU cooling fans for computers, and to be honest with you, the airflow that I have right now with the fans that I have installed is more than all the noisy crap that I had in there before. So you can see that I've got this mounted in an angle, takes air through this shaft from that vent down there, blows it up inside. This set of fans takes the hot air rising out of the inverter and blows it forward. And then I've got two fans right here that takes any hot air that's inside the equipment cabinet and blows it out into here. So it's pulling cool air from the bottom, rises it up, blows it out the top. Works out great. This is my closet. This wooden box right here represents the second of two 400 amp hour battery banks that I have running my 12 volt system. I originally had only a single 400 amp hour battery bank on my 12 volt system, and I realized very quickly that was not going to work. Just my network was depleting those batteries quicker than I could keep it charged. So I added this one in, and now I have no issues keeping everything up on my 12 volt system. One of the things that I did do for a bit was run my refrigerator, and just to check power consumption, it actually consumes much less power than my mini splits do. So realistically, in the grand scheme of things, if you compare voltage and current and amp hours and all of that, I have the exact same amount of storage capacity on my 12 volt side as I do on my 24 volt side. This side is 800 amp hours at 12 volts. The other side is 400 amp hours at 24 volts. Exact same battery capacity. So this is my add-on. I have a video about what I had to do to bring this in and some of the mistakes that I made when I brought this in. The unfortunate component of this is that this was supposed to be my closet for hanging clothes and things like that, but now that I've added this, that's not going to work. So I don't know what I'm going to do to solve that. The flooring material that I put in front of the shower, I actually added some in here. As you can see, some of the glue is starting to come undone. I'm going to figure that out, but I added this just to provide a covering for the walls. I've got a piece of plywood that I've already cut. I just need to contour the angle or the curve and put it in and close this up and finish this up. I'll finish this all up, and I'll put some storage in above this so long as the door for this opens. As you can see, there is the battery bank and all the internal wiring and etc. for that. I do have right here, and I'll mount this when I do the plywood, but I've got my overhead lights that light up the closet, and I also have a light. If you look right there, you can see the glow. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Let me just do this. I have lights inside the cabinet as well that light up the inside of the cabinet. So that's my closet. One of the next things that I want to show you is, one of the things that I wanted to do was to actually create a means to separate the shower area from the front of the bus, so that if anybody was taking a shower, they had some level of privacy. So what I did was, and it was no easy feat, and it took me forever to figure it out, but I created a mechanism by which I can actually do that. So my original intent, let me show you the original intent. My original intent is that this door would be like this, and that I would be able to swing it out. Well, as you can see, the distance that I had to have for the door was just a bit too much, and I could not get it to swing all the way around. So what I did is I hinged this part of the door, and I created this latch mechanism that would secure that in place securely, and then I can actually open the door all the way. Let me move this out of the way because this is getting in the way. Move the door all the way over. Then what I do is I take this and lock it into, if I can get it to cooperate, lock it into there, and then swing this around, and then this holds everything in place. Now this is not intended for driving down the road, because as you can see, there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of movement. But what it does do is it does provide privacy from the front of the bus to the shower area. So if you want to have some privacy back here, if you're taking a shower or whatever, you can actually implement this door mechanism to provide that privacy. What I'll do is I'll go to the other side and show you what it looks like from the other side. So if you're on the other side, this is what it looks like. This is the actual door for this area. And then I've got this swing out mechanism that actually closes off this area right here. So it does actually provide a barrier for some privacy to the shower area. Was it necessary? Maybe, maybe not. But it was just something that I wanted to see if I could get to work, and I got it to work. So it actually worked out well, and I got it done. So that's what it looks like from this side. So let me close that up, and then I'll be back and I'll show you some other things. Alright, so one of the next things that I want to show you is one of the things that I did to dress up and provide access to my emergency battery disconnect, which is what that is right there. So I created, in this instance, this little hinge door. Notice I've got the sticker that says emergency shut off. So you open that up and you have free and easy access to the emergency disconnect without having to fight these to get the door open, whatever the case may be. I already have this opening cut into it. I've got a magnet there that keeps it closed. Just secure it and it's good. On this side, however, what I did was I created this frame and used the same panels that you saw at the top of the shower. I've identified with a label that the emergency shutoff is. You slide that back and there is the emergency shutoff for this battery bank that is inside this closet. So in the case of an emergency, you don't have to fight with getting all of these doors open. You just slide this back, reach in and turn it off. The next thing is this one down here, same as the other one. Slide it back, there's the emergency shutoff. This emergency shutoff cuts off all DC power to all electrical components in this bus. Anything coming from any of the batteries goes through this one, and when I turn this off, there is no DC power applied to anything in this bus from a 12 volt side. On the 24 volt side, this particular emergency shutoff does the same thing. So these are the doors that I created, cleaned up the wiring and created the doors. Top side going down to the bottom on this side using these murals. Top side going down using these murals, adding some texture and artwork and whatever just to break it up so it's not all cedar. But I really like the way that it looks, and there's a little special things that I've got incorporated in those that I'll show you in a second. And that's coming up as we go through the kitchen.